Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace, and I came outside. I got rushed out here. It's 8 o'clock p.m. exactly, August 18th, 2025. And it gets darker earlier. I need to adjust what time I come out, because I don't sit out here in the dark. But right before this, I was busy. I have a life. And lately, for I don't know how long now, what I'm focusing my time on and everything has changed. And I still have videos that I have made in the past to put up. Don't know if I'm going to do that, but in them I've said things like I've moved on from some of the topics I've been talking about, and it's true. My life is, for a while there, I was so disgusted by some people. It was basically two genres. One of them, it was two genres, and some of them were in both of them, online, what the videos they made. And I was so disgusted. It was unbelievable how manipulative they were. I do a whole channel on, basically, I've done it for 10 years. And stuff before then. I was a student in these fields for over 20 years. So I have a clue what I'm talking about. For the most part, I can be wrong. And I have changed my mind on some things too. I've never really told what I think about a lot of this, actually. And I'm going to want to start doing that soon. But that's my next step in all of this. And a lot of it, like I've said, I use my channels for venting, pressure release valve for the most part. It just depends on what it is about, really. But I want to move on to what I really think. Okay. But anyway, there's this, out of all those, I wound up, getting to where, I don't know how long ago it was, where I just, don't even look at those channels that people were so despicable, unbelievably despicable, and, not really unbelievable. I can believe it, but that's just more like an expression, a way of expressing it. Oh, how disgusting. But one of them I watched today, not of that one. They're two different ones. They're all despicable people. They're two different genres. They're all despicable people. The way that they use people and have no conscience. It seems like, if at all, very, very little. Of course they have some, but very little. They have no empathy. They lack empathy. Does this sound familiar? Yeah. I could go on and on. And one of them I watched, and it's the same thing. And I have a problem with the way I feel about this for many reasons. But at the same time, I'm well aware of what is why it is that I would need to say this in order to show the truth. I've said it before. Okay, to get to it now. Okay, there is this woman. She is one of those, which there are many, who talk about that they don't have enough money for groceries. Okay, and I've seen this over 11 years. My original channel, it's 11 years this month. Actually, in 3 days, yeah, will be 11 years. 11 years. Okay, I've been making videos. But as far as making videos on topics like narcissism, toxic people, all around those, like borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder. On the behaviors of characteristics, what I've seen in my life and other people, and mine for a big part, is a lot of people being so histrionic and and those being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So their behaviors are histrionic like those. I'm not diagnosing them, but they were, some of them were diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So get that straight. Anyway, but this woman, okay, to get back to this, and I mentioned all this for a reason. Kind of rushing here. You can hear the person mowing their lawn behind me. I don't know how loud that is, but anyway, rushing through as usual. I just happened to watch a little bit of her latest video, and that's the last one I have to just stop watching, you know. And I am, in a way, I guess, you know, I know, because I am a Christian. I have no problem stating it, and I so totally agree with. I mean, it just fits who I am, how I am. You know, I don't want to be blasphemous here, but you know, no, but I will state this, that this is a good book for people who are good, decent people. If they read it and they don't use it for, like some of these people, the despicable people I talk about, they claim to be Christian, but they're only using that to make money. Okay, no, that's bad. But it's a good book. It's a good teaching to be decent if a person follows it. Anyway, hold on. Okay, the mower moved, so now I won't be so as distracted, at least. But anyway, where was I? This one person really, you know, I had moved on. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention. Then I looked at something today, a little bit of her latest video, and it was like, oh my goodness, you know, it's just so disgusting. And this is the type of person, like I said, you know, this is the type of person who you, if somebody tries to give constructive criticism and say, you know, it's not something to do, is to do X, Y, Z. And however nicely they put it. So she will say somebody told her that. So she has said this. You know, somebody told her not to do this X, you know, X, Y, Z. She said, I'm going to do it even more just because they said so. And when she is in that, it's kind of weird, but not really weird. When she is in that mood to be, you know, rebellious, this is a middle-aged woman, and to be rebellious, she'll do that constant over and over and over. Anything anybody has told her, not just the one thing, but anything that they found irritating in her videos. I found the same thing very irritating. Okay, very irritating. And this is nothing new. I've seen this plenty, not only online, but I've seen it in other people in my face-to-face world. You betcha, all my life I've seen this type. And like I said, the people I've seen, their behaviors are quite histrionic, and some of them have been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. That one is pretty bad. I haven't studied that one as much as the other ones, but yeah, oh, wow. Yeah. Anyway, so back to this woman. She you know, that video she did. I just had to put the headphones, because I'm using headphones, put them down and just put to read on it, and it doesn't pick up everything, you know. And I'm like thankful, because she's something awful. Okay, and she smirks and she on and on. But the thing about being, you know, judgmental, you know, we have the right to discernment and decide what's good and bad and evil and all that, and that's why I'm walking away, because they can sour your whole who you are if you watch them too much. I'll basically put it that way. If you become like, you don't want to become what you hate. Okay, but the thing that truly bothers me with not only her but others who complain. Okay, now to get to this. like she does. She is a major complainer. She complains, you know, apparently she thinks she's so high up there. And her genres, or both of them, she's been in both of them. Doing the food delivery and, well, more than one, more than two. The ones that go to food banks and the ones that are e-beggars, okay? Grifters, whatever they fit into. All of those. You know, the manipulative, on and on and on. You know, they have a whole groups of these. I've seen them 11 years online before that, like I said. Anyway, she's one of those that complains, like several people do, that they're doing food deliveries and, you know, like they go to a restaurant, pick up the food, drop it off, you know, at the customer's house, and they say the customer is not paying them enough on a tip. Well, as usual, you know, it's nothing unusual for people to fight amongst themselves instead of, you know, like these are complaining about the customers, and without a customer you don't have a job. But they complain about the customers, and they want a war between them and the customers. Oh, it's all the customers' fault, they're not paying me enough, instead of focusing on who is actually causing the problem. And it's not the customer. The customer doesn't owe you anything, period. Okay, they owe you nothing, period. So, but they say, well, if the customers are doing, if the customer is using this premium service, I'm doing air quotes, premium service, really? Then if the customer is going to use it, the customer needs to pay me for dropping it off, or they can go get it themselves. Most of them say things like, especially even people in the comments say, they need to get off of their bleep and go get it themselves. Oh, that's so impressive. Not. Okay, it's not impressive. And it just says, you're not a premium service to me. I would not expect somebody who's going to see things that way as being part of a premium service. No. That is not part of a premium service. Oh, they love to use that term, premium service, to say that they deserve more. Well, how about acting like it, speaking like it, and dressing like it? I mean, come on. Now, this one woman in particular, oh my goodness, shirts and pants from like 15 to 20 years ago, and they look it. Wears them day after day after day. You know, might switch one this time, then wears another one the next time, the next day, then switches to one more, then switches back, something like this. The pants, wears them all week long, this one pair of pants. Shows, actually on video, the stains on these clothes. Stains. And you think you're a premium service that deserves more of a tip? Well, here's a tip for you, this video. That's what you deserve. Okay, I'm not in the business to say what somebody deserves, but you get the gist of the joke. Premium service, I deserve that whole sense of entitlement. Of course, I could be wrong on all this, but I doubt it. Anyway, it's just that see how my if you don't know what I'm like outside of this, outside of making the videos, is a pressure release valve, you know, to vent. I'm not this type. You know, in the rest of my life, this is what I do. I don't believe in bottling it up inside, so I do it. I put it on video. Some of them I have that were really, really bad. I have on private, quite a few. But yeah, this is my journaling. This is my way. I'm not saying it would be for anybody else, but for me it does. It works. And so, but I'm not, the rest of my life I'm okay. You know? Unless something comes up, which lately, all these doctors and all this stuff. But today, by the way, last night, I had to take a pill according to one of my, the good doctor, the one I call the good doctor. Not the bad one, not the other one. So, I did a video and I used it that way The good, the bad, the other. So, you know, they're different field, different specialties. Two of them have a specialty. The other one is the PCP. So the other, yeah. Anyway, this good doctor. I was kind of afraid to take that medication, and I took it last night. He told me to, and wow, that's what I have to say about that. Wow, I woke up because I take 3 diuretics a day. I have to wake up in the middle of the night, and I think I woke up around 2 or 3 or something, halfway, and then I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go, 6 something, to get ready and go take some blood tests, and I did that. But when I woke up for that time, I was going, okay, what's going on with me? What is this? And I am serious. I'm going to be very dramatic with this, because it was very dramatic. The difference, the switch from like night and day in how I feel. So many of my symptoms and my problems are gone. I mean, seriously, just what happened? And I was getting bad again. I was swelling up. I was having shortness of breath. Could barely walk from the front part of my house to the other side, which I do that because of the diuretics. I do it about, I'd say on average 15 times a day. That makes it 30 times, because it's there, and that's one part, and then back, that's another part. It's not a short distance. It's a big house, a long house, and yeah. Anyway, but with all that, so I woke up, like I said, and so many of these things were just, I was amazed. And all the way there, it just more and more was coming up, and I'm like, wow. So the shortness of breath, I was having like a bunch of congestion in my, in my lungs, just, the allergies that I have year round, what happened to them? Really, I'm serious. What happened to my allergies? I mean, I'm talking, usually I get out and I'm going to have the sniffles, I'm going to have coughing, I'm going to have, just the ugh feeling. And then I was starting to itch really bad because my, my usual shampoo, they changed the formula. I tried that one, it caused me problems. Changed to another one, the one that Adam uses, which was one of them that's recommended for somebody like me. And all of that, just so much itching, crazy itching, and not just my scalp, but on my back too, and which could be totally separate issues all around. That went away. I'm serious. So many things. I'm like, this is another miracle drug. I think I'm already on 3 of them, and which as I found out is, this is the one they would probably give me for my miracle drug. Another one. Man, go for it. I felt like I should feel. I think that's the best way to put it. I feel like I should. Not, instead of just so many problems one after another, health-wise, just aches and pains and itching, coughing, sneezing. Am I the dwarfs here or something? Snow White's dwarfs, sneezing, coffee. Can I call them that? But you get what I'm saying. So many different than the shortness of breath thing. That was like, why? And swelling, inflammation. Oh, I can't remember all the things that just suddenly were not issues for me. It's like I'm not having to pause and stop and cough and sneeze and as much as I usually do. Of course, it could all be coincidence. It could all be different things. But like night and day, seriously. Okay, mower boy came back. He's a teenager. I think he's an adult, actually. Yeah, just a really young adult. Anyway, but you know, so I have this good stuff going on. Finally, good stuff going on. You know, hopefully, I don't want to jinx it. I don't believe in jinx and stuff like that, but anyway, so there's good stuff going on. And then I see something like that, just, ugh, somebody that bad, somebody, and there was more to that, like I said, that I didn't get to. I've tried before to get to the part of, I have to question myself of, you know, because the whole thing is, I don't judge people by their appearance. It's just never been my way. It's not like me at all. But because this woman says the premium service, and she's not the only one, and then looks like something the cat dragged in, you know that expression, doesn't care if she's a rebellious person. She doesn't care. The 15 to 20-year-old clothing, and hair is filthy, yeah, greasy looking. Her whole appearance is just bad. You know, she's doing it because she's rebellious. The things that she has actually said, that's a middle-aged woman, she's doing it because she's rebellious. She's actually said that. The words that she, not rebellion, or rebellious, but that she's going to do everything anybody told her not to. So I don't like judging people by their appearance. But when you're using it to say, to be like that, and to try to, you know, to say this whole thing about premium service, yet you're not looking like one, you're so entitled. So you see what I'm saying? That kind of thing to, you know, there's the difference of trying to say, look, you can't be a beacon if your light doesn't shine, kind of thing. Okay, you can't go around saying premium service, they owe me, when you look and you do this on purpose. Have stains on your food, stains on your clothing, and show them? Come on now. And you think that you deserve a bigger tip for what? I mean, I haven't said this part. As far as actually delivering, she leaves. This is so disgusting. She leaves like the bags of the food or the pizza, you know, these stuff, you know, I'm not talking anything the plastic, but these are like in paper sacks or, you know, pizza boxes. She leaves them on dirty welcome mats. I wouldn't put them on a welcome mat at all. I wouldn't put it on anywhere where there is water, but she will put it on welcome mats. People wipe their feet on this stuff, and if it rains, depending on the material it's made out of, it might hold that water, and you're putting a pizza box on top of it. You call that a premium service? I don't. I definitely don't call that premium service. She would. I had one. She's worse than the worst one I ever had deliver stuff to my home, and I've done it for years. I'm not talking food. I'm talking groceries. So disgusting, just so despicable. I mean, just he was yelling at me from outside because he messed up. Just total despicable. She is worse than he is. To me, just what I've seen her do. This gives this kind of work a bad name. People who put your food on a dirty and sometimes wet, dirty welcome mat. Do you not understand hygiene? Do you not understand at all what you're doing? Really. Oh, all around. People don't want to see somebody when they're paying this premium service price. They don't want to see somebody who's out there who looks like they don't care what they don't even care about their appearance, and they certainly aren't caring about where they leave the stuff. And you think you're going to get a bigger tip for that? What is wrong with people who have that kind of mindset? I know. I have a pretty good idea. Social and behavioral scientist. I'm doing this for health insurance. Long story there. I've said it before. But this, I think this is me. That's the last one I'm subscribed to. I think this is me going in there. Click. I don't support people like that. Just even being, I don't support them at all in any other way. But no, because that's disgusting, and that level of despicableness, that level of disgust that's causing me, the level of, that I don't need that in my life. I don't need to have that really negative view about people, and as I've said, I'm a Christian, and as I get older, the stuff that has come back to me, some of it is from my childhood, but I also watched that show, The Chosen. I really like that show. I'm trying to take it slower and watching them this season, and then I'm going to go back. I think I've gone back and watched some of the older seasons. I think this is season 5. But that's not all that I do, of course. But the older I get, the more it comes to me. This was such. And plus, I'm watching Touched by an Angel. I was never much on watching TV when I was younger. Okay, there comes. What is this guy doing? I don't know. What is he doing? Okay, I get amused sometimes, but alrighty. Anyway, at least he's not the neighbor that mows his lawn with a weed eater. Seriously, I think it's funny, but anyway, yeah, I'm just going on and on, so I should wrap it up. But this is me gonna go in there and click and never watch. I have no intention of watching her again. There was one I mentioned before that she seems to have actually changed her ways. Now that Despicable one, the one I just mentioned, said I'm going to unsubscribe. I think she tried to show that, and she tries to show that she's a Christian, but I think anybody who really understands any of this, just walks away, because no. But this other one, I think she has changed her ways, but it's taken a few years for her to get to where she's a bit changed. Anyway, I was worried about her because the other one, this other one, the one who actually does seem to have changed, is changing her ways, is taking her years. Okay, I didn't watch her from the beginning. I think I've watched her maybe the last year or so. And I was a little worried about her because she took a major risk. But then I found that she's been leaving community posts, and which is something I want to get into, is doing community posts. I think I've done one on each channel, so I have more than one channel after all these 11 years. But yeah, I'd like to do some of that and get used to writing again. It's been a long time. Can you believe it's now 8:30 and well, it shows a nice pretty blue up there, actually, doesn't it? But it's dark. It's almost dark. It was 9 something before, just recently, what, a month ago or so. So anyway, like I said, I don't sit out here in the dark, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I know I've left someone just sitting there, but I'm gonna do this again probably. Some subject, but yeah, I think I have to really get myself, to go in there and Well, the way I am, if I don't finish watching that video, the way I am sometimes, it'll bug me. I was trained, so trained to be such a perfectionist. You never leave anything just sitting open and all that. You know, you never leave something half done. Start a job, finish a job. You know, this kind of stuff. I know people who are the exact opposite. They leave everything everywhere. They started, if they start a job, which is unusual, they're not going to finish it. They're going to leave it for other people. You know, so I'm like the opposite. So the opposite. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.